Aron Ralston was born on October 27, 1975, in Ohio, United States. From an early age, he developed a love for nature and adventure. His family later moved to Colorado, where the towering Rocky Mountains became his playground. Surrounded by dramatic landscapes and endless trails, Ralston found himself drawn to hiking, climbing, and exploring remote wilderness areas. He was fascinated by the challenge of the outdoors, the sense of freedom that came from standing on mountain peaks or navigating narrow desert canyons. Over time, he became an experienced mountaineer, known among friends for his determination and physical endurance. Yet the wilderness that inspired him would one day test his survival in ways he could never have imagined.
In April 2003, Ralston set out on a solo hiking trip in Utah's Canyonlands National Park. The region is known for its stunning but unforgiving terrain, deep sandstone canyons, narrow passages, and towering rock formations carved by centuries of erosion. Ralston had explored similar landscapes many times before. Confident in his abilities, he often traveled alone, relying on his experience to navigate the rugged environment. On April 26, he entered a remote slot canyon known as Bluejohn Canyon. The narrow passage twisted through towering rock walls, creating a maze of stone corridors and hidden chambers. For hours, he moved deeper into the canyon, climbing, descending, and carefully navigating the tight spaces. Then everything changed.
While climbing down a narrow section of the canyon, Ralston dislodged a large boulder. In an instant, the rock shifted and trapped his right arm against the canyon wall. The boulder weighed hundreds of kilograms. No matter how hard he pulled or pushed, his arm remained pinned. Ralston quickly realized the seriousness of his situation. He was alone, far from the nearest road, with no phone signal and no one who knew exactly where he was. The canyon was silent. And he was trapped.
At first, Ralston tried everything he could think of to free himself. He pushed against the rock, attempted to chip away at it with his tools, and experimented with different body positions to release his arm. Nothing worked. As time passed, he rationed his limited food and water. The desert sun rose and set repeatedly as he remained stuck between the canyon walls. Temperatures fluctuated dramatically, hot during the day and cold at night. He began recording video messages on his camera, speaking to his family and friends in case he did not survive. The reality of his situation became increasingly clear. Without rescue, his chances of survival were fading.
By the fifth day, Ralston had almost no water left. His body was weakening, and dehydration was becoming severe. He understood that waiting for help was no longer an option. The only possible escape required an unimaginable choice. Ralston realized that the only way to free himself was to amputate his trapped arm. Using a small multi-tool he carried with him, he began the painful and dangerous process. With determination and focus, he managed to break the bones in his forearm and cut through the remaining tissue. After nearly 5 days trapped in the canyon, he finally pulled himself free.
But the ordeal was not over. Weak from dehydration and blood loss, Ralston still had to climb out of the canyon and find help. With one arm, he rappelled down a steep drop and began hiking through the desert landscape. After several hours, he encountered a group of hikers who immediately helped him and alerted authorities. A rescue helicopter soon arrived and transported him to a hospital. Against incredible odds, Ralston had survived.
The story of his survival quickly spread around the world. Many people were stunned by the courage and determination required to make such a life-or-death decision. Ralston later reflected on the experience as a moment that changed his perspective on life. The ordeal taught him about resilience, gratitude, and the importance of human connection. He eventually returned to climbing and outdoor exploration, adapting to life with a prosthetic arm.
Ralston wrote a memoir describing his experience and the lessons he learned from the ordeal. His story was later adapted into a major film, bringing the dramatic events of Bluejohn Canyon to a global audience. Through speaking engagements and interviews, he began sharing his message about perseverance and the power of the human spirit. For many, his story became a symbol of survival against overwhelming odds.
In the years following the accident, Aron Ralston continued pursuing his passion for adventure. He climbed mountains, explored wilderness areas, and remained active in the outdoor community. His experience did not diminish his love for nature. Instead, it deepened his respect for the risks and responsibilities that come with exploring remote environments. Ralston also became an advocate for preparation and safety in outdoor activities, encouraging others to plan carefully and communicate their routes before venturing into isolated terrain.
Aron Ralston's story is one of the most extraordinary survival accounts of modern times. Trapped alone in a canyon with little hope of rescue, he made a decision that required unimaginable courage. His journey reminds us that the human will to live can overcome even the most extreme circumstances. In the silent depths of Bluejohn Canyon, where one man faced the edge of life and death, determination proved stronger than fear, and survival became possible through the power of choice.